just been awarded the contract for the uniforms for $7.5 million.
This is $7.5 million ceiling for uniforms in Colorado. I believe you responded to like a sources saw it. I am very honored to have Robert here today, straight from Minnesota, originally from Chicago, to talk about a multi-million-dollar win. But I'm going to let Robert talk about all of it. So welcome to the channel.
Thank you. I am very happy and very proud to be here. I feel like I know you as a friend because I fell asleep with headphones on listening to your YouTube, just so I can make sure I get it while I sleep also.
Hey,
Put it that way.
And vice versa, because you are very active in TikTok.
Yes.
And on my TikTok lives. And so I'm really grateful to you because you took action, which you're going to talk all about.
Yes. Took action and had a lot of fun taking that action too. I must say that. I have 2 contracts. The first one was a small one that I got because, believe it or not, what's true, like a lot of people say, nobody bid it on. I was the only one that bid on it. And I know why, because it was a low one. It started off as a low one. It was just coveralls and lab coats. That's it.
Coveralls and lab, hold on. So coveralls, lab coats for who? And is this like your expertise? Are you like the coveralls and lab coats go-to guy?
No, fell into this totally by mistake. I got on Sam.Gov. The name of my company is Pride Homes and Rentals. I got on Sam.Gov to rent lease properties to the government. In my mind, I'm thinking, hey, I want to get these $15,000 a month checks. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But found out there's a lot of upfront money you have to do that.
Yeah.
When you're dealing with the real estate part of it, because you have to make sure that, it's fitted for the government the way they want to move in and everything. So I started looking around for other stuff to do, and I didn't know how to bid. So I was like, okay, I know how to look around on Sam.Gov, but I don't know how to bid. And Dr. West was the one who I reached out to first because he was popping up on my TikTok like every day. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, man, he was from Cleveland. I lived in Cincinnati, Ohio, where my wife was from for 13 years. So I'm like, okay, let me reach out to him. I reached out to him. He told me he was going to be putting on his first masterclass in Chicago. He was like, you ever been to Chicago? Can you meet me there? I said, been there. I grew up there. I said, I know everything about Chicago. Where you going to be at? And he told me, and gave me a price. I paid that. And the only thing I wanted to learn was, how do I put my bid in?
How do you bid?
Because I didn't know how to do that. Because like you said, it's intimidating when you get on there and you see all these pages and all of these different amendments. You're like, man, what is all this stuff? And I didn't know what to look for. So I didn't know what they were really asking for. I'm just reading the headlines and thinking, oh, I can do this, I can do that. Well, when I got in that master class with him, he showed me how to look up different ones, sole sources, or the ones that's solicitation right now, and where to go to look for the bid and how to get subcontractors. That was a new concept for me because I'm like, subcontractors, what are we going to do with subcontractors? Well, that same day he was training us, he had us making phone calls.
Right.
Looking for subcontractors and using Google. When I realized that everything was just a click on a mouse through a computer, I was like, I can put in at least 5 bids a day. This was my thinking. Now, when you first start off for me, I was only able to do 1 a week because I fell into the analysis paralysis where I was analyzing everything, trying to think of a slick way to make calls to subcontractors and stuff like that, when it didn't even take none of that. Half the time when I called the subcontractors on different solicitations I was going for, they'd be like, oh, you're going to bid for the job at such and such? And I'd be like, yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm like, oh, okay, well, this is what we know that place up there. And they would give me all the information that I needed. But what I ran into was pricing.
Tell us more. I bet. Let me guess. Your pricing was too high. But let me guess. But I could. Yeah, I know I'm not wrong. So
I wanted to make $30,000 off one deal. I didn't want to, take a little bit. So this one was for a plumbing job. I think at a prison somewhere in Tennessee or something. And the guy gave me a good bid. I'm just say the bid was like for 15. Well, his estimate was 15. I'm like, oh, okay. So I threw 20,000 on that 15.
Knew you were gonna say that. Who is paying?
I threw 20,000 on there. I'm like, I need this money.
Who's paying $35,000 to fix plumbing in a prison?
Hold on, I got an even better story than that. But hold on.
Let's keep running with this, because whoop.
I didn't. For some reason, I got frustrated. I'm like, why didn't these people call me back or let me know I got this award? So I seen they had their phone numbers down in that manual. West said, email as much as you can. Do not try to call them because you probably won't get an answer. I called this lady 17 times. Because I wanted to know how long it was going to take before I got my award. And she finally told me, she was like, look, young man, let me explain something to you.
She called
You're
you
not
young man. You know when
She
they call you young man, young woman, it's done. Okay.
Yes.
Oh boy.
I knew it was coming.
Uh-oh,
She said,
let's get it ready. Let's get ready, audience. Let's get ready.
she said, you are not the only one. There are other people who put bids in. And what makes you think we're going to give you $35,000 for a 2-day job? I said, well, you know, and I know this is stupid to say, but I said it. I was like, well, the government got it. She was like, we ain't going to have it for long if we award people like you. And hung up the phone. And that crushed me for 6 months. 6 months I didn't do nothing. I'm like, man, forget this crap. I'm not doing this. Did another little class thing where he was doing where you just got on a Zoom meeting like this with a bunch of people. So I'm sitting there, I'm listening. And someone mentioned your name and mentioned your videos on YouTube.
Yes, sir.
And the name Kizzy threw me off. I'm like, this got to be an old woman. Kizzy? I'm like, I ain't heard Kizzy. I'm like, I haven't heard that name since Roots. I'm like, wow. I'm like, so she got to be good in the game with a name like Kizzy. So I get on and, I pull you up and I'm like, wait a minute, this ain't the Kizzy I'm thinking about. I'm like, okay, hold on. And the first thing you talked about first one was about pricing, setting yourself up for success, and understanding that bids have to be done in quantity and they have to be done with good quality. So the first thing I did was I started just listening to your videos, looking at different ones that related to what I knew I needed. That's the good thing about YouTube and with you guys' videos. You can pick the videos that you need at that time. You don't just have to watch every video. You can pick, okay, this right here sounds interesting. This is where I'm lacking. And when I got to the video where you talked about pricing and quality and capability statements and soul sourcing, I'm like, I do see a lot of soul sourcing for different ones. But you had mentioned about finding your niche, finding what you're good at and related to government contract. It's okay to get other stuff if you know something about it and you want to go that route, but you'll have more success if you just focus in on what you like and what you're good at and match yourself up with something. So luckily I had found a uniform thing, and what intrigued me about supplying uniforms and stuff like that was these are 5-year contracts. I actually called the CO and I was like, hold on. I said, I'm seeing on here that you guys got on here base year and then 4 years. So am I to fill out for he was like, yeah, because this is going to be for a 5-year contract. So make sure you're doing your numbers right, because whatever we award you for that budget, that's what we're going to be sticking by. So if you know, and I was glad this guy explained it to me, so if you know the following year, you might want to add 5 or 10% on there for inflation and taxes. You might want to add a little bit more as the years go on. I was like, oh, okay. First phone call I made to UniFirst Uniforms, I got this young lady and I explained to her what I was doing and what I needed. She hooked me up. She said, you know what? We just hired a guy. He's new here. I'm going to have you work with him. And that guy, me and that guy have become great friends. He's my contact at UniFirst. I can call him right now and say, hey, do you guys supply this and what would be my price? He was like, well, I know you're going to triple whatever it is, so we can give it to you at this, and then that way you'll still look good. Because, see, UniFirst have different contracts with the government also. And that was another key thing you had explained that I like when you said that you should do some research on what your competitors is doing. Because if they were paying your competitors $2, if you're coming in at $7 and $8, they're going to be like, wait a minute, things haven't changed that dramatically where we need to give you that amount. You may be able to pick up on the $2 and still make some money because their customer service wasn't good. So they dropped that person. So if you go in at say $2.25, you got a better chance of getting it. And that's what I started doing. Now, fast forward. There's a lady by the name of Dr. Karen. She has a big award. She just got.
Okay.
She was doing uniforms also, right? So when I met her, we met through Westing. She was talking about the one she had just got, which was for uniforms.
Okay.
And it was the same place where I had went. Okay. I had put a bid in at. So I emailed, I'm like, typed to her, found her on Facebook. I'm like, oh, I did that same one. How did you win? I'm asking her questions and stuff like that. She told me about her bid, and I was like, oh, and she said, yeah. My bid is going to be like $250,000 over the next 5 years. I'm like, wow, that's very low. I said, how you get those low numbers? Because mine came in at $2.2 million over 5 years.
Whoa, and she said 250,000?
Right. She laughed so hard, and she used me. It's a YouTube video where she's talking about me, because when I told her what I did and how I priced it, she said, oh no. She said, you got to do your research. That's why I said your research resonated with me on doing research on your previous person who was doing the bid, who had the contract. She said, you got to learn how to do research, son. She said, how much would you charge? It was for pants, shirts, jackets, and some other stuff. But for the shirts, I put in $5. For the pants, I put in $7. Now, man, you can rent these shirts for like 98 cents.
So your margin was too high.
I put a margin way out there.
Okay.
And I'm like, that's why I messed up on that. So I listened to your video, started doing my bids better. I looked up on my first one, because like I said, I think because I was the only one that bid. I priced that one correctly. I still have that one. Matter of fact,
and what's that one for? So everyone is aware.
That's for the Space Force base in California.
And what is it for? Is it uniforms?
It's for coveralls, fire retardant coveralls, and lab coats.
Yes, lab coats, and got it. And
for two different sections on the base, for the mechanics and the helicopter mechanics, I think it is.
And what's your profit on that? Percentage, whatever you're open to sharing.
That one I make about $850 a month on.
Okay, which is amazing, because I will tell you right now, those of you who are like, what? Don't fall for you have to make $1 million a month, because those people are not telling you the truth. Number two, how many of you have legally made $850 that you have as recurring revenue every month? Number three, any money is a blessing. We all start somewhere as an entrepreneur. So this is amazing. $850, that's rent, that's towards your mortgage, that's towards your car, that's towards college, that's towards your kids. So I love this. So $850 a month. And it's great because I
learned so much, because I didn't know nothing about invoicing. I did not know anything about submit my invoices. But the lady that still helps me now to this day, she helped me and sent me a printout how I should be putting things in WAIF.
A wide area workflow. Got it.
Right.
Yes.
And how I should, submit my bids. And it's been working out fine ever since. And we had a mix up at UniFirst because it's a 2-for-1 deal. Although it's with the Air Force Base, I'm in 2 different sections. So UniFirst for the whole first year was just sending me for one part and not the other part. And I kept saying, I'm like, man, I'm not making as much money as I should be making. It was only, at that time, it was only like $400, $300 I was making. I'm like, it should be more than that, because I know my numbers. We ended up talking and finding out they were never billing me for the other building that was getting uniforms. So they sent me an invoice from September of 23 when I first got it, all the way up to May of this year. So I had to call the CO lady that I work with and explain her the situation. And this is why I believe what you guys said. If you give them a call and talk to them, they will help. Call this lady and explain to her what happened. She said, yeah, we were wondering the same thing, because you should be making this, you should be billing us for this amount, but you're still behind. I was actually $2,200 behind because of the whole year I didn't. So they had me put each one of them in there, and I had to put them in there individually. And I ended up getting the money. But that taught me, I was so glad it was a small account, because imagine like the one I got now, and we make a mistake like that. We're talking about 9 different departments now on the one I got for Colorado Air Force Base. I'm talking about 9. Imagine if I made that type of mistake, then I would lose that award, that contract.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So this small one actually taught me everything, not that I needed to know, because I'm still learning. I'm always learning. But it taught me how to get things set up and to do it takes me 20 minutes now to submit my invoices.
Perfect.
And with the one with Colorado and with their Air Force Base, the one that's for $7.5 million, this would be with credit cards. So I just got a merchant account through my bank, where my bank account is at. I got a merchant account, and I just send them an invoice. They do invoicing also. They told me this is a great thing, like you said about the government. They tell you what they want you to do. They give you a piece of paper with everything on there telling you what they want you to do. This piece of paper I got told me what needs to be on the invoice, how it needs to be set up, and how to submit it. And when they do the credit card, they pay through credit card. So all I got to do now is on the top of my invoice is just put my credit card information, so they can just pay with a credit card and go straight to my account. I don't even have to talk to nobody. And this is going to be going on for 5 years.
And let's talk about that one. This is $7.5 million ceiling for uniforms in Colorado. And I believe you responded to like a sources saw it.
Yes.
And then so everybody watching, he had the past performance, you're applying everything you're learning, you're adjusting, learning, applying, adjusting, you're watching the content. Then from there, you come across this opportunity, you bid on the sources sought, then they have the opportunity where they're like, look, we need all of these uniforms and talk to us about these. Who are these uniforms? What did this entail? Are you using the same vendor? What percentage do you make? Because I know people are still like, oh my gosh, you went from rentals and housing and now you're the uniform man. So we want to know, how does this all work?
Well, I used ChatGPT to make up my capability statement.
Okay.
And I saw Wes had explained that you can use the background of the company that you're working with.
Mm-hmm.
So I explained to my guy at Universe, I said, man, he was like, I've been waiting on you to ask for, I got a capability statement for you. And I just got quiet. I'm like, you got one for me? He was like, yeah, we got a little packet that we give people doing government contracting so, it can blend in with your business. All I had to do was include them. They gave me a PowerPoint that has their graphics on there showing how we do the logistics and everything, because that's the number one thing a lot of these uniform solicitations want to know is, can you get the product to us? Because there's a lot of Air Force bases and a lot of Army bases that are located where it's just that base.
Right.
There's nothing around there.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of companies are not set up around there for them to get their uniforms. I got one now. We're trying to work on something. We're trying to figure out. And it's funny because they got me in the mix of it. I haven't even been awarded or anything. But we're trying to figure out how can we logistically get them uniforms in a certain area. But the one we're talking about, the multi-million one, in Colorado, that one was off of sole source because of my capability statement. I did that in April, and last month, no, I want to say, no, wait a minute. I did that one in February because she called me in March and asked me to send her, my cage code and all of that. And I was like, well, it was in the capability statement. And then she corrected me. She was like, well, I'm not the one you sent it to originally. She's been assigned somewhere else. So I need it now. So I resent it to her. Then she got back in touch with me in April to ask me about my pricing and to adjust it more, $1 more on each one. I never heard that before. So I did that.
So let's pause that. Adjusting, did she mean up or down?
Up.
Okay, so she wanted you to increase your pricing because she was like, your price was too low.
Right, and that's what she explained to me. She said the previous person we had, their prices were too low, and instead of them explaining that to us, they just quit responding, and we just quit getting our uniforms out of the clear blue.
And I want to emphasize, this is really important because clearly somebody did all the work, they won a contract, and they did what we used to say when I worked in a call center, they did a no call, no show.
Yep.
And that's what they did, which is ridiculous. Can you imagine you order from Amazon and they're like, nope, we're not going to deliver to you anymore?
Oh, man. I couldn't believe that, though.
I get the DMs all the time.
Wow.
I get the DMs all the time. People do it with animals. I got a dog. Let me drop it off. This is what people do, right? So
wow.
People are interesting, which we send them love and light. But I want to emphasize that the reason this woman did this is because she didn't want to deal with this again.
Yeah, exactly.
She didn't want to deal with this again. So she wanted you to be set up for success because, like you said, they just want uniforms. The person ghosted them and they don't want that again. So this is beautiful. So please continue with this.
So then that was in April. And then I didn't hear nothing back from them. But another thing I incorporated from your videos is every 2 weeks, I send an email just to let them know, if I haven't heard anything, I know the bid hasn't been awarded, just to let them know. And I always send my capability statement with every email. Just keep letting them know, hey, I'm still here. I'm still very interested. We're ready to go. We're just waiting on you guys. And I always get response back. A lot of responses I get back are, hey, we're still trying to work on the budget and get it approved. We probably won't be doing anything in October. Well, she just out of the clear blue, I just going through my emails. She sent me an email and say, hey, give me a call at this number. You've been awarded the email for Colorado. I want to let you know what it is.
Yes.
I told my wife, I said, I think I got my second one. So I got in touch with her, called her. She told me everything, sent me the emails. I signed the paperwork, sent it back in. Then she sent me another paper with the 3 guys I'll be working with. She said, give them a call, get to know them, because they're the ones who are going to be ordering the stuff that they need. I said, okay, no problem. So I called the guy. First the guy didn't answer, the second guy answered. Told him who I was before I could even get my full name. He was like, oh man, we've been trying to get uniforms since December, man. She just got us approved for this budget. So we already got somebody who we want to work with, who want to get uniforms from. I'm like, oh man. He was like, there was a guy from UniFirst here. We want to use that. I was like, oh. He was like, yeah, you work with UniFirst, right? I'm like, yeah. He was like, just send that guy back. We already know what we want, because they were great salesmen. We got about 10, 15 different outfits that we want to get from them. Now, man, you, this is only supposed to have been shirts, pants, and jackets. So I'm like, okay. So I said, can you give me that guy? He said, hey, I got the guy's card. He gave me his name, his number. I called the guy. I said, man, you made a great impression on the Air Force Base in Colorado. I just been awarded the contract for the uniforms. He laughed. He was like, man, I'm not even working there anymore. He was like, but I was a trainee, and there was a guy who was training me who went with me. He was the one that you want. His name is Mike also. I said, okay, you got his number? He's like, yeah, let me do this first. Let me call him and make sure it's okay. So he did that. Then the other Mike called me. And he said, hey, I'm the guy who's down there doing that. He said, I'm so glad you're doing this right now. I said, well, my guy is in Arizona. He's the one that I work through and deal with. He was like, no problem. Just give me his number. I give him a call and we'll set everything up. Without me doing anything, they had already set up an appointment for them to come in to do the fitting. He spent the week down there doing the fitting with them, getting them all fitted for their uniforms. And what was it, Monday of this week, we just sent the order out, and it's a very huge order. So with this contract, I'm going to be looking at about $3,500 a month.
In profit.
In profit.
So combined, we're talking over $4,000 a month in residual income.
For 5 years.
For 5 years. And it could be more, because these are uniforms for who are the people? Uniforms
for the mechanics department, and it's for the 3 different mechanics departments for 3 different areas on the base.
Okay. And this is amazing, because often the fear is, oh, they're going to take it, this subcontractor's dirty or bad. And companies who understand realize, because I'm assuming, and I could be wrong, that UniFirst is probably a big company.
Yes.
They're probably not considered small, because you're either small or not small. So they probably awarded your contract as a small business set aside.
Yes.
So then they're benefiting by partnering with you. The base gets stars and points, because now they have given this $7.5 million contract over 5 years to you. They get the UniFirst. The UniFirst person is there doing what they need to do, because they're still making their money, right? They're making their margin, you're making the margin. And then what will happen, Robert, is they're going to want more uniforms.
Yeah.
So then they're going to want more uniforms, and you can easily get another contract. And then on top of it, what's beautiful for everyone who's watching, he's swiping a card.
Yes.
So then you don't have to worry about creating an invoice, 7,000 line items, putting it in a system. Yes, there's a merchant fee, there's some fees, but those are things you can work out on the back end, or maybe even get them reduced through your financial institution. So I applaud you, because you are doing the most important thing. Is you have the mindset of abundance. Some people would have said, oh no, UniFirst is there, and they wouldn't have wanted to do this, and you have a real relationship with them.
Now, I must admit, when I was putting in bids, there were a couple of times I seen the award went to UniFirst, and it was the same thing I bid on. So I called up my guy. I said, hey, man, you guys, I said, I'm sending you this information to give me a pricing, and you guys are using it to bid on behind my back? He was like, what are you talking about? And I explained it to him. He was like, no. He said, this is the thing. That base, I think it was in Alabama. He said that base, they only time the government would use us if nobody put a bid in. So they would use us because we happen to be close to the base. So they just order straight through us. That's why you see UniFirst won the contract. And he said, but if you look at it, it's only for 1 year. They only do it for 1 year with us because nobody bid on it. He was like, now if you give it a year, I can guarantee you, if you keep looking on Sam.Gov, you're going to see it come back up as a solicitation. And once you bid on it and they see that you're with us, you got a highly better chance of winning, because they're already getting uniforms from us. I got one now I'm putting in a bid for. They renewing for Bulwark fire retardant clothing. Only UniFirst carry Bulwark.
And what kind of set aside is this?
This is for
small
business.
Okay, good.
Small business. But this one is for 196 employees, and they each need 14 uniforms apiece and 2 jackets apiece.
This is amazing.
When I told you on TikTok, my goal was to get 5 this year, and you said to me, no, Robert, I think you can do 12. I don't know why you said that to me, because I didn't think you were going to respond to me. Nobody never responds to nobody on TikTok. And you kept saying 12. And another time I talked to you, was like, how that 12 looking? I'm like, okay, now since you said that, and since January to now, I've put in probably about 90 bids. Half are sole source, half are pre-solicitation. No, a third is pre-solicitation, and the rest is just solicitation they're looking for. New Mexico is about to come on. I'm going to get that base. Base in Alabama. They've already called me. They're just waiting on their funding to get approved.
And these are all uniforms?
All uniforms.
Amazing.
The lady who I initially called and got me working with this young man, me and her I went over the business, my business idea and goals with her. She said, you got the possibility to hit $500,000 with us. She's like, do you know you would have to be considered one of our biggest accounts? She was like, we got people who do government contracting, but they never fall through with it. She was like, if you would just stay with it and fall through with it, that's a lot of money to be made here.
Right.
The one that I told you, the first one I got in California, they were using UniFirst also. You know why I got the contract?
Why?
Because I'm partnered with UniFirst, and the person who had it before, they wasn't paying UniFirst.
Imagine.
So that's why UniFirst quit delivering to them. They just quit paying them.
But imagine that, Robert. You already brought up no call, no show, a ghost person. You brought up somebody who didn't pay. These are stories we hear all of the time in society. It's no different in business.
It blows my mind because, and I know it's because some people are like, oh, that's only $850. You ain't gonna make that much money. But my thing is this.
That's a lot of money, though.
My goal has been to just get $850 a month 10 times.
Easily.
Because that's $8,500 a month right there.
Can't you get it 20 times, Robert? You got to think bigger. That's why I said the 12, and then it's going to be 24. It's bigger and bigger and bigger. So here's the blessing. Because this company tried to be slick and not pay, it opened up a beautiful door for you. Because at the end of the day, and I say this all of the time, the government just wants the thing.
Yep. Yeah.
And then it gives them credit because you are a small business. So then it's like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. We're getting what we want through a small business or a HubZone or an SDVOSB or an 8A or WOSB or an EDWSB. And you're giving them that. You're not trying to take the money. You're not trying to pull an okie doke. You're not trying to bamboozle them. You are an entrepreneur, and you are somebody who's like, look, you're on the verge of being the biggest account, but you're going to further grow it. That's what's going to happen. It's just like multifamily. You don't make money on one door. You need hundreds of doors.
Right.
Thousands of doors. You want to be the BlackRock of real estate.
Right. And I can tell you this here. The thing I love the 5 years that you get on the contract. But I love the fact that these people are literally, I get calls now. I just had 2 CEOs call me and say, hey, we got some people that's going to be putting their stuff on Unison. Here's the number, the ID number. Will you be putting a bid on it? Please let me know if you're going to put a bid on. So I typed back, yeah, I want to put a bid. I thought that was just computer generated. Then a young lady sent me the same thing on a different one for Miami.
Right.
So I put that one in for Miami. I just got an email from them, waiting on funding to get approved. So I told my wife, and my wife keeps saying, she keep telling me, all of these are going to hit you in 1 month. I just got a feeling you're going to get hit. And I want to tell anybody that's listening now, please listen. This is all you need for government contract. Put in as many bids as you can. Get your name known out there. Get yourself known out there. Get your capability statement made through ChatGPT. Get it rock solid. Get it to where when you read it, you want to call yourself and do business. And I'm going to tell you right now, I get phone calls and I get emails. It's like I'm the first go-to guy. And the name of my company is Pride Homes and Rentals. It has nothing to do with uniforms at all. I've never had nobody say, hey, what's with your company name? They've never even mentioned my company name. It doesn't matter. And because I put all those bids in, now all I do is spend my day I put a bid here and there, but like I once heard you say, once you start doing them so much, you know what to look for now. I can look at one now and just say, nah, that's not going to be a good one for me. All bids are not good for you. All bids are not good for you. Even if you're doing subcontracting, I know these gurus want you to do that because they want you to have instant success. Find what's good for you. That's the best thing I've heard you say, Dr. Parks, and it is so true. Find what you like to do. I love clothing. That's why this uniform's forward. I love clothing. My wife will tell you, I shop more than her. I love clothing. So clothes is a love for me, period. And to work with a company that offer uniforms, and I just found a niche to where, like I explained to my wife, even if something happened to me, all you got to do is keep putting the invoices in. She's on the LLC, so she's on the system. All you got to do is keep putting the invoices in for the next 5 years. And then I just got extended. I just finished my base year for my first one, so now I'm on my first year.
Right, you're on the, yep.
And like you said, they're adding rags to it now. But you said something to me yesterday that I didn't really pick up on, and I'm going to do now. When we get off this call, I'm going to call them up and say, hey, we offer this here also. I'm going to start offering it, because if you're getting flame retardant lab coats and stuff, what about the shirts and pants? Shouldn't they be fire retardant also? Let me get you guys some slacks.
Do they need shoes? They need socks?
We got it all at UniFirst.
Yeah, I mean, what?
And I never even thought about that till you said that. You was like, that's how you grow your car. I'm like, I didn't even think I could do that.
You need janitorial services? What else do you need?
Oh.
Need warehouse? Do you need storage? I property manage. Do you need storage for any of your equipment? Do you need equipment rental? I mean,
wow.
this is the diamond of government contracting. The non-small companies have a ton of different contracts. They just don't tell you. They're not going to say, hey, we have a contract for $40 million for janitorial, because that's not sexy. They're going to talk about the jets, the weapon system, the simulator. Yeah. But what makes you money is the residual income. That's why Amazon has subscriptions. Microsoft has subscriptions. Netflix, BET Plus. That's why there's all these subscriptions.
Right.
Because that's money. So having the ongoing monthly revenue is equivalent to having subscription. So when you're in, now you become Amazon.
Yes.
You didn't get uniforms, but now here's Robert. Oh my gosh, did y'all know Robert offers rags and shoes, and he has a property management company for real? Yes. And he can get us this and he can get us that, because that's what happened to my company. We became the go-to. I have a PhD in IO psychology. Yeah. I did a lot of training, and then it was, well, Kizzy, can you staff IT? Why not? Kizzy, can you help us with a warehouse? Why not? Can you sell us Oculus headsets? Why not? Now my company is synonymous with you solve our problems. Whatever our problem is, you will solve it. So it doesn't matter if you start in uniforms, training, janitorial. When you get in and build that relationship, you become a problem solver. You're the go-to. You're no different than Raytheon and Lockheed. You're no different, except you're a small business. And then they get credit because now it's, we can do all of this work through you. And then they know you partner well. You're not trying to skip out. You're not going to say, no, I'll figure it out. No, they know you're going to be like, you guys need office chairs? Don't worry. I'll figure out who to get you the best office chairs. So
the person who I talk with now is the person I need to be talking to about this stuff
and the small business rep. There's a small business rep there.
Where do I find the small business rep?
We can discuss it offline. But here's where you get it for those watching. You got to Google it. Because it may be on acquisition.gov. It may be, we just have to Google it. We got to look to see if they have one there, or sometimes they'll have a small business rep who's assigned, but isn't physically there.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's why I say offline. I'm not trying to gatekeep. It's just that we got to do a little research to see who it is. But the person you have now and the small business rep. The reason I say the small business rep is they should be tapped in to what the base needs and who the people are you can talk to and connect with.
Okay. All right. So it's a little bit more selling myself and my company. Mm-hmm. Okay.
And what you're capable of and what you've done in the past.
Right.
You're painting a picture of what you have done, what you're capable of doing, and how you can do it for them. Look at what we've done already. They didn't have uniforms. Boom. They didn't have uniforms. Boom. We have these property managers. Like, you're letting them know because we don't know. That's why she might go off. That's why Amazon's bestie, Alexa. That's why people send emails. That's why people send text messages. Because if you don't,
I don't know that.
You see? Because if you don't know what a company is offering, then why would you shop from them? Why would you? That's why a grocery store may have big O ads up. Or, hey, you guys, 2 for 1. Or here's our flyer. Try our samples. They're not trying to get you to eat some new little pizza bits. They want you to buy the pizza bits. It's all part of the plan, because if you're not buying the thing, if you don't even know to buy the thing from them, then how are you going to even shop with them, and how are they going to make money?
Oh my gosh, I got some more money I can make off these two there.
More money. A lot more money. A lot more.
Oh my goodness.
Because this is how the sales goes. That's why I
Right.
talk a lot in my coaching about dialing for dollars and planting seeds, because this is what I've done. And this is why we have multi-year contracts and things of that nature, because many people don't want to do this. Many people don't know to do this because they just don't know to do this, and it works. That's
the one thing I haven't done, and I'm going to say it to you, and I'm apologizing now. I haven't gotten your book yet.
That's okay. You just got to get it. winnerswaitbook.com.
Yes, I haven't gotten it yet, but I am going to be
you
ordering
will, but
that.
You've watched a bazillion videos, and you watched a lot of the content, and you learn, apply, adjust. And that's why I wanted you here, because it's a combination. It's not about always you buy something. At the end of the day, it's about you have to apply what you learn.
Exactly.
Not here on YouTube to win a $7.5 million contract, because that's what Robert did watching the content.
Exactly.
Because out the gate, you try to triple something, and then they hung up on you because it sounds great. It's a great line. It's awesome. However, it's not how things work.
Yeah, you're right. You're right about that.
I mean, if anybody here wants to pay $50 for a carton of eggs, please DM me, because I gladly will sell you a carton of eggs for $50.
Yeah, you have to do some research. It's not a pie in the sky thing. I mean, there's some work to it, but it's very rewarding. And like I said, with the uniforms, I love it because I like the 5-year contracts. I just like the fact that for 5 years, I know this amount of money is coming.
Right, which is amazing.
And it's not like on my real estate side, I'm starting to get back on that now. But, with real estate, you can buy a property and it could be worth $80 million. Something can happen in that neighborhood, or something go down in the neighborhood and it can go all the way down to $80,000. I've seen it happen. I mean, I don't understand why. I listen to the TikToks and I look at the questions that people ask you, and I'm just like, I can answer that for them. A lot of them questions just need to be told bid.
That's what I say all the time. Bid.
That's what I like about Lulu. He just said bid. Just put your bids in. Bid. And he's right, because when I first started putting bids in, I was overpricing. But what it did was it made me comfortable enough to be doing it and to keep doing it. Because once you make it a habit for yourself, like when I get on my laptop now, first thing I go to is Sam.Gov. My wife hates when we go to the store and I drive her to the store. I'm sitting in the car. I'm on my phone on Sam.Gov because I'm just looking. And I've done bids through my phone and through my laptop. I've got just that sharp with it because I've practiced. Practice. And I think the reason why I did this is because, like, everybody who you talk to, I've seen you interview, they say the same thing. Because of the movie War Dogs. We all want to make that that Ezra money. We all want to make that $35 million off one deal. And then, like the guy said, they underbidded themselves by $300 million on the one deal. And that's why the government chose them. It's like the money is there. The education is there. It's just you got to take the action. And I'm going to say it again. Bid.
That's right.
Bidding takes care of everything in government contract.
It does.
Because you're either going to get a no, or you're going to get a phone call and somebody's going to be nice enough to explain things to you to do it right, or you're going to come close to getting the deal. But do your research and don't underbid yourself just to get an award.
No.
Because it's going to cost you more than anything in the world. Underbidding yourself just to get an award, just to beat everybody up.
Right.
Put your price in, put your bid in, and move on to the next one. Because like I said, this one I got in Colorado, this has been since February. And out of nowhere, just got an email. I wake up every morning, the first thing I do is go on my emails.
Excuse me.
Because I want to see if I won an award. Because I've put the work in. I still put the work in. I'm down to probably about 2 or 3 a week now.
Well, I love this.
And it's not because I think I'm too good or anything. It's just that there's only so many in my NAICS code with these uniforms.
Right.
So as soon as one come out, I put a bid in. So it's like they running out of solicitations for me in my niche. or I'm in a situation now, maybe we could talk about this offline. They got a few places that need uniforms, but it's like in the Sudan, ambassador's office at the Sudan and stuff like that. And I don't know how to do overseas stuff.
Well, then connect with me offline. We can talk about it. I love this. And how can people connect with you?
I see my website I'm still working on that. I did have that, but I have to redo it.
Share with them your screen name on TikTok if you want.
My screen name on TikTok is Rollo1969. Rollo is my Chicago neighborhood name. My real name is Robert. You can reach me on Facebook at Robert Harvey III. I don't have anything special on there. That's about it. Instagram is just an Instagram for when I was selling different merchandise through Instagram. I got the hookup. That's me if you see me on there. So that's it. But mainly I do.
Go ahead.
Mainly I do TikTok now. So I'm on there more than anything.
I love it. I want to say I'm grateful to you. You learned, applied, adjusted. You're bidding. You're not giving up. You're making over $5,000 a month by reselling uniforms. I mean, That's in essence what you're doing right now. In about 2 weeks, maybe 3, 4 at the latest, you're going to be doing more than that.
Yes.
And we'll have you back, Robert. We'll have you back. And so I can't thank you enough for being here, for sharing this journey, and for showing everyone what is possible. Because I believe and I know everything is possible. So I appreciate you. winnerswaybook.com. Proposal.wins.com if you want to learn how to write proposals for those out there, proposal.wins.com. So thank you again so much. And please like, subscribe, hit the notification button, and comment below. What are you all going to bid on? What are you all going to bid on knowing this journey?
Yes, it's a great journey. Yes. Get on board. And thank you for everything. Thank you for presenting your videos. Not charging me $11,000 an hour for your time. I appreciate it. It helps a whole lot. It helps a whole lot.
I appreciate you. You're so sweet. I really do. I really appreciate you, and people are going to love this, and I know they're going to love this. So again, y'all, everything is possible. Don't forget, like, subscribe, hit the notification, and put in the comments what you are going to bid on next.